Welcome to this Yellow Jacket training video. In this training video, you will learn how to view the Commission dashboard, access your Commission reports, including the Actions by Observation Type report, the Action by Organisation report, Observations by Performance category, Observation and Action reports, and the Inspection scorecard. We'll also look at how to download your reports and generate performance graphs within Yellow Jacket. So to access your reports at the Commission level, all you have to do is look to the left-hand side menu and look for your reporting menu here. Scroll down and you can see there are different options. You've got reports, and you've also got the view dashboard option. Let's have a look at the Commission dashboard first of all. So just click view dashboard to load the Commission dashboard. Once your Commission dashboard has generated, this is the information that you can see. It includes a summary, first of all, of the accident statistics at the top, as well as your overdue actions on the Commission. You've got a summary of your observations recorded on the Commission, both good practice and unsatisfactory situations. You've got a summary of the number of actual and planned inspections carried out on the Commission, as well as audits. When you generate the dashboard, it always shows you 12 months worth of data. You can, however, change that and apply filters to the start and the end date, as well as the last month only. Let's scroll down and have a look at a few of the graphs on the dashboard. It includes a summary of the accidents that have been recorded on your Commission. This includes the number of accidents and the accident categories to help identify trends. We can see the number of actions recorded per responsible organisation. If you do have contractors set up on your site, then you'll be able to see actions per contractor. Below that, we've got graphs for the number of actions recorded per observation type. This is a very useful graph as you can identify the top trends when it comes to safety concerns on your site. We can see here, for example, that on this particular Commission, PPE is the #1 observation type. We've also got actions recorded against housekeeping and third actions recorded against access and egress. Underneath that graph, we've got both satisfactory observations and also unsatisfactory observations recorded per observation type. So this graph also identifies the good practice recorded against those observations too. We've got a trend graph in terms of the actions overdue on the Commission. We've got a graph that shows the number of director leadership tours completed on the site. And below that, we've got a line graph showing the number of actual versus planned inspections and audits. You can't download this report, however, you can click on the individual titles to then take you into more detail and generate other reports. So first of all, let's have a look at the Actions by Observation Type report. To generate that, all we have to do is click on the title of the graph as shown here. That will pre-populate the start and the end date fields for a 12-month period. However, if you want to run that report for any other period, then you can just click on the calendar and select the period that you would like to run the report for. Also, whenever you run a report in Yellow Jacket, you can also check and change the filters at the top of your report. This allows me, for example, to only run this report for certain contractors and organisations on this particular Commission. The other filters within this report are set up by your system administrator and are referred to what we call parameters within your account. So in your account, these may look different to what you can see in this training video. To run the report, just click Go, and that will run the data for the period selected. Once the first part of the report has generated, this is what you'll see on the screen. To the left, you've got a simple bar graph that shows the total number of actions recorded against the division type. And to the right of that, we've got a similar graph that breaks that down into closed, pending, and resolved actions. The good news on this project is we can see the majority of actions recorded are now closed, 385. But there are, however, a few that are pending and very few that are resolved but not closed. But to generate further data and drill down into the observations and actions on this commission, we need to click on the Generate Report button at the bottom here. Once that report is generated, we can now see a table of results for this commission. It details the observation types as well as the action types recorded for each observation. It's in alphabetical order, so it starts with access and egress. And if you scroll down, you'll see all of the actions against that particular observation type. This can be a very long report depending on the date period that you have set. The most useful thing about this report, however, is the blue hyperlinks embedded within the table. By simply clicking on the commission title here, this will generate a pie chart identifying the trends in regard to observation and action types on this commission. So we can see here that almost half of the observations recorded were recorded against PPE, with a further 50 actions recorded against access and egress. So it's very easy to identify the key safety trends on your commission from the pie chart. To the right of that, we can see the number of actions by action state, i.e. those are closed, pending, and resolved. However, to drill down into further trend analysis, what you can do is click on the particular observation type that you are interested in. So let's do that now and look at PPE. So by clicking on the PPE segment, this will generate a further pie chart identifying the action types associated with PPE. So we can see that for half of the PPE actions recorded, the top action type is gloves with 37 actions. We have a further 33 actions recorded against eye protection and 32 actions recorded against hard hats. This information is very useful for safety managers and advisors to be able to tackle the concerns on their site. You can also download the charts and tables within these reports from Yellow Jacket. To do that, all you have to do is click on the Actions option in the top left-hand corner. And from here, you have a number of export options, including exporting this particular graph to a PDF document or to an image file or to PowerPoint. Okay, so let's go back now, click Exit and generate another report. So by clicking Exit, that has taken us back to our dashboard, and this time we're going to look at the more detailed reports available from the reporting menu on the left-hand side. So to access that, just click on Reports here. That will take you to this page where you can see there are a lot more reports listed which you can generate. So first of all, let's have a look at the Action by Organization report here. This report is extremely useful if you want to identify a trend for a particular organization or contractor on that site. Again, whenever you run a report, you must select the date range. So let's just go back a few months. And if you'd like to run this report for a particular contractor only, then you can select all organizations and unselect that box, and then select the organization on that site that you are particularly interested in. So let's select Yellow Jacket Limited, and then click Go to run this report for that organization. You can see that this report is quite similar to the observation type report, but this time it's filtered by action type in alphabetical order. So these are all the action types recorded on this commission for this particular contractor. You can see the risk rating related to each action that's been recorded and the due date for the actions. You can see the action state as to whether they are closed, pending, or resolved. You can see whether they are good or poor practice, as well as a summary of those actions, the organization, and the individual that created those actions. But again, similar to the previous report we saw, you can generate graphs by clicking on the blue hyperlinks within this report. So let's click on the Yellow Jackets Limited to generate a graph displaying the main action types on this particular contractor. Once generated, you'll see the graph. We can see here that the action count on this contractor in that period is exactly 300. But what we are interested in is the type of actions that have been recorded on that contractor. And this is where this graph is useful to identify those key action types. So for example, waste management, there are 10 actions associated with that particular issue. We've got 8 actions on tall tethers. We've got 12 actions recorded on stairways and ladders. And as we scroll down this action type report, we can see that PPE starts to show. We've got 18 actions recorded on safety footwear, a further 13 on PPE assessment. And scrolling down further, we can see that there are many more actions recorded on different elements of PPE. So this graph is very simple, but it helps safety managers and advisors once again to identify the key action trends for a particular contractor. You can then discuss these areas of concern with that contractor and hopefully improve performance around those areas. What you can also do with this report is drill down further into any particular action type that you are interested in. So let's click here on hard hats. The good news here is that all 31 actions on hard hats have been closed out. So there's nothing that remains unresolved or overdue. You can drill down onto those actions by simply clicking on the bar, which will reveal the details of each action recorded. And here are the details, both the action date, the individual, and the action description. Okay, so let's generate our third report. This time we're going to have a look at the observation by performance category report here. Again, simply click on the title and then select the date range for that report. And then click Go. This time I'm running this report on all organisations within this commission. What this report is particularly useful for is identifying the number of observations recorded per contractor on your commissions. So we can see here there are 6 different organisations on this project, and if we look at the number of observations column, we can see that the number of observations per contractor does differ. The useful thing is that we can see both the good practice being recorded on each organisation. So for example, BRE Training, they've recorded 9 satisfactory observations and 4 unsatisfactory observations. FM Partner and Test Corporation have only been recording satisfactory observations with no unsatisfactory observations recorded. But we can also see that Yellow Jacket Limited is using the system the most, with 44 good practice observations recorded on that company and 69 unsatisfactory observations recorded. Please be aware that when you do run this report, you'll only see observations that relate to your company account. So these are observations either recorded on your company or observations that you have recorded on another contractor on that site. So these numbers don't just relate to observations recorded by that company, they could be recorded by other individuals on site. Another useful part of this report is the second column here, looking at actions which are both closed, resolved, and pending. This is useful because we can identify the contractors and organisations which have unresolved or pending actions associated with them. So for BRE Training, we can see there are 4 observations raised, 2 actions have been closed out, but 2 of those 4 are still pending. If we scroll down and look at Yellow Jacket Limited, we can see that 69 unsatisfactory observations recorded, 70 actions associated with those 69 observations, and all 70 of those are closed. Be aware that the number of actions won't necessarily relate directly to the same number of observations because you can record more than 1 action per observation. If you want to view the details of those actions, then you can just click on the View Details for further information. Okay, so those were a few reports looking at the observation and action types recorded on this commission. Let's now have a look at the inspection scorecard. Once again, just like every other report in Yellow Jacket, just select the date range that you would like to run that report for. So here we are going to run this report for November, and this will allow us to identify all the inspections recorded in that period on this commission. So if you're a contractor and you have a particular requirement for the frequency of inspections to be carried out per month on your site, then this is a particularly useful report to run to identify which contractors and which individuals have actually submitted their reports during that period. So we can see the inspection type is the title of the inspection that's been uploaded. We can see the organization that's completed that inspection, as well as the individual inspectors and the due dates and the actual inspection dates. If we scroll to the right of the report, we can also see some crucial information, and that includes the total number of actions being recorded per inspection. So if you have requirements on your site where you set KPIs, for example, or targets for either your own staff or for contractors, where there is an expectation that actions should be recorded on each inspection carried out, then this report is very useful because it identifies how many actions have been recorded per inspection. There are also a number of reports which are just available to system administrators only. And we're going to have a look at one of those, which is the observation and action report here. Again, we're going to select the date range and click Go. So as you can see, this report is in tabular format and it does contain an awful lot of data. But if you do want to analyze the data in more detail and have all of the observation and action type information in one report, then this is the best report to generate. It includes details of the commission as well as each observation recorded. Every observation recorded in Yellow Jacket has a unique ID number. You can see the organization, which is responsible for each of those observations, as well as the individual that raised the observation, the company that raised the observation, and the date the observation was raised on. Alongside the observation details and summary, you've also got all the associated action details as well, including action due dates, whether those actions have been resolved and closed, and if so, you've got the date those actions were resolved and also closed, and details of the action summary. If you want to download this report, then again, just like every other report in Yellow Jacket, just click Actions in the top left-hand corner and export it to your preferred application. A report like this is probably best downloaded into CSV or Excel because it does contain a lot of data. Okay, so I hope that provides you a good insight into the type of reporting that is available in Yellow Jacket. As you can see, there are other reports that you can generate. So if you are interested in reporting, then I suggest you just click on the reports element on your commission and have a go for yourself. If you do have any questions about reporting in Yellow Jacket or any other aspect of the tool, then you can contact the helpline on Yellow Jacket at bre.co.uk or call us on this number.